That was awesome, dude.
Here we go. You started that bit out with that was awesome, dude. So thank you. I agree. It was awesome.
Yeah.
We're flowing. We're
We,
rolling, and we're rolling you right into podcast video cast
Dace.
number 6. And here we go. My name is Scott from 30 Pastors and Bones Consulting. And what we're up to is creating a life of workability and creating a life that you love and that we can see that you love it.
hmm
You love your life, Jamie Morgan?
Man, I couldn't love it anymore.
Is it workable?
Absolutely. You know why it's workable, Scott?
I don't.
Very clear boundaries.
Actually, I do. I lied, but I
Yeah.
just led you into that. That's just authentic. That's this authenticity. So
Yeah.
today we are flowing into how to get workability installed into your life. It's like installing this new computer into your car that makes it run so much more economic. 40 miles to the gallon versus 15 in the Suburban, 100 miles per gallon versus 50 in a little Prius. And that's what we're talking about today. So we're putting in workability. And again, my name's Scott from 30 Pastors. Jamie Morgan, tell us again, just so if we grab any new visitors, who you are and what you do real quick.
Yeah. So I'm a licensed professional counselor. I have a private practice, My Family Counseling. I'm over in St. Paul, Missouri. That's what I do.
And I'm in Hendersonville, Tennessee, Johnny Cash land, the little ring of fire, and down here by Nashville, Tennessee. So if you guys need anything, we're mobile, we move, and we're hopefully by now you're noticing that we have small groups forming around the country. Our peer collaboration group. You can go to 30pastors.com and check us out a little bit more. And we're flowing right into and right out of expectations. What we promised you last time is we'd put a couple things in, and I'm going to start mine. We'd put a couple things in that would help you on Monday morning, whatever day that is for you. If it's Tuesday, it's Tuesday. We still call it Monday because it's your first day back to work. As pastors and staff, it may be Tuesday. If you're running a company and starting a company, new or old, then it may just be straight up Monday morning. And what I've put into place, Jamie, and tell me if you like this, is I put in an opportunity early in the morning on Monday morning to go and visit each individual person in the company piece by piece and set up that time to clear my calendar on Monday mornings so that I know that Mondays I know there's Tuesday, basically. I don't try to get everything done, try to get everything done on a Monday. And I put it in there where I go and I visit each individual person in the company, have a conversation with them, see how their weekend was, and see what their needs are individually, and then establish the rest of my day from there. How do you like that, Jamie?
Yeah, I like that. So are you saying that you block that time out on your calendar to do that?
That's right. So I block that time out. I don't visit emails. I don't sit down at my desk and just jump right into what I need to accomplish. But I
Yeah,
step back
yeah.
as a macro manager and I look at what are the needs of my company? What are the needs of my people? What do they want to accomplish for the week? What do we need to accomplish? What do we need to accomplish as a group? What do you put in, Jamie?
Scott, you made a good point there, and I want to just point this out real quick.
Yep.
What you're talking about, what you just did, is living intentionally.
Putting in intentionality.
I think we can talk about that more later, but that's a great concept, right?
I'm going to
Of,
put in,
of
yep.
being intentional, right?
That's right.
So when I think about the Monday morning blitz is what I would call it, right? Because you walk in, hey pastor, hey pastor, hey pastor, hey I need this, hey I need that, right? I go to wondering, do I have the right people on my bus? Because it sounds like I wonder, can they make their decisions on their own? Do they and have I given them the information they need, the responsibility they need to make those decisions on their own? So now we're talking about, am I a micromanager? Do I have to approve everything? Does my hand stamp have to be on everything? Or am I a macro manager? I've set my expectations clearly with my staff. I've set their job description as such that they know exactly what they're responsible for and what they're not responsible for. Do I got to get some people off the bus, Scott, and replace them with somebody that would be more suited to what will fulfill the needs of the role to support our mission in the church.
Yeah, so folks, what we're starting to talk about and what we're starting to flow into is the self-evaluation process. We've talked about that with some of our other experts. We've talked with Frank Hegard from Culture Index. We talked with Patrick McBain from Transformational Leadership. And what we've noticed as a whole and as a group, what one of the most important things as a leader, as a pastor, as a CEO of your company, is that you have a self-evaluation process and you authentically flow forward. You authentically go forward as who you are and know what your management style is. Micromanagement, as Google brings up here on the top link, in business management, micromanagement is a management style where a manager closely observes or controls the work of their employees, generally used as a pejorative term. What's pejorative mean, Jamie?
Yeah, so pejorative is like it's talking down, like it's not good.
Oh wow.
Would be
In contrast to giving general instructions or smaller tasks while supervising larger concerns, the micromanager monitors and assesses every step.
yeah.
So then what is macro managing and who's capable of doing that? That's the key where we need to go. Who's capable of macro versus micro and how does that look?
So the macro is the guy all the way at the top. So let me give you an example. When I worked at US Cellular, I was an area manager. So I ran 11 stores. Okay. Now, of those 11 stores that I ran, when I would take on a new store or hire a manager, in that conversation, I would say, look, I hired you to manage the store, run it. There's nothing that you could break that I can't fix. So I want you making decisions, setting the course, doing. If you jack it up or you make a mistake, no big deal. That's what I hired you for, and that's how you learn, right? So putting that piece in place, man, you talked about empowerment. These managers were really, even the my younger guys, they really felt like they had a control on their business.
So the delegation process at that point is you've pre-delegated most things.
Yeah,
You pre-delegated them, you've donned them, you've dubbed them the knight and
yeah,
said, you can do it.
you can do it.
Remember who
Yeah,
said that?
you can do it.
Right, right. So
Because
my
we're here to pump you up.
that's right. We're here to have you see micro versus macro. Generally speaking, at the top of the chain is and needs to be a macro manager. So if you're a pastor, if you're a leader who doesn't do well with letting projects go or delegating, there's a good chance that you might fall into the category of micromanaging. That's okay because micromanagers, in some cases, it is okay. Stick with me here. It is okay because they can do specific projects and stay very specific to a project. Okay, so such as quality control. Micromanagers are very good at quality control because they hone in to a certain specific topic. Myself and my brother are very different in that category. I like to be a macro manager and looking at the super huge big picture. My brother, who is a leader as well, but he leads smaller teams and has the ability to focus generally on smaller big projects, but in a smaller, more hot white focused process. So generally speaking, we like to see accountants are very good micromanagers because they deal with a finite task.
Mhm.
In a church, we may not see that as often. In most of those things, we need to be macromanaging. What's your thoughts, Jamie?
Yeah, so I think the top of the chain, I think, has to be a macro
That's
manager,
right. For the
right?
most part, it does. Yes.
It just has to, right? Because Now you're empowering people. I think if you're the top of the chain and you can't let go of things, that takes us back to the overwhelm, the committing to things you can't do, not setting expectations, saying yes, not being in integrity. I mean, I think that's what creates all of that, Scott.
Empowering people. If you're not empowering people, besides theologically on the pulpit, theologically on the stand, on the stage, yes, that works. But if you're not empowering your staff to do what it is that needs to be done on a daily basis, or maybe you don't have a staff, or empowering volunteers because you don't have a staff. That's the other piece that we can start to look at. We got to wrap up this podcast. That was podcast number 6. We're starting to unravel the overwhelm. We're starting to unravel where you can go with this, things that you can put into place. We've given you some pretty great nuggets, really more than what we plan to in these podcasts, but we're flowing, we're going, we want to give you some educational pieces that you can take back and work with us. But if you want to work with us specifically, you can contact me, Scott at 30pastors.com. We're forming small groups, peer collaboration groups, so we can get you to see in a bigger picture how you can affect your church and your companies and your ministries. Jamie, one last time, how do we get a hold of you?
myfamilycounselor@gmail.com.
Thanks so much. We appreciate you. Hopefully we got you thinking, are you a micromanager or a macro manager? God bless you. Appreciate you. See you in church if you're sitting by the window.